Emily Bradley is everyone's favorite classmate. Not only is she insightful and generous in her comments about other people's writing, but also she always, always, always brings snacks. Usually a nice complement of healthy clementines and sweet donuts, muffins, sometimes a coffee cake. And if she can't whip up anything on her own, she'll either buy something or perhaps her neighbors will contribute to our own edible pleasure. My favorite was the apple crisp that came from your neighbor, you know, with that nice crunchy oatmeal topping and the blanket of butter. That was good. Fact 2. Emily makes friends wherever she goes. And those new friends somehow find her old friends. And before you know it, Jenny Latson and Alicia have met Tom Zoller, who somehow contacts all of Emily's other friends, and sooner or later, it's the 6 degrees of Emily Bradley, not the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Fact 3. Emily Bradley talks faster than an Aston Martin on the Autobahn. Fact 4. Emily will share whatever she has to whomever needs it. She provides shelter to MFA students on the way to the airport, so keep that in mind. She brings flowers to friends after a bad day. To their teenage children, she brings candy. To their toddlers, she brings stickers. And for everyone else, she'll cook an entire turkey dinner, complete with homemade stuffing. But what you may not know about Emily is that she came to this MFA program with the idea of writing a book called The Fat Chronicles. And it was going to be a collection of interviews with women about weight gain and loss, but not a recipe book, but it was more a celebration of women for what they are and what they thought rather than what they looked like. But it didn't take too many workshops to see that the story Emily needed to tell, needed to share, the story that really brought out the writer in her, was her own. She has met this challenge of trying to make sense of circumstances beyond her control with a deep curiosity, both personal, how to navigate life's events, and also literary, how to use language and image to explain that navigation. She's met this challenge with grace and humor, and of course, some really wicked good snacks. Somewhere over there. Oh, may I present to you Emily Bradley.
Know that Sue was going to say that, but if Keith hired Duncan to assassinate Lauren, I coerced my brother to be my right-hand man, which will make a lot of sense after I read. Thank you to everybody who is here, especially my family, really first and foremost. I wouldn't wish a memoir. Literally, I actually asked my brother to help. When you're writing a memoir about your family, it's really nice when they come, especially to my dad and my brother, who were brave enough to allow me to read something about them today. And to my wonderful husband, who tolerates me baking at 3 a.m. because I couldn't mow the lawn. It was way too late. And to my very best friend in the world, Julie, and also to Pete, who's adopted our family. And both of them convinced me to wear heels tonight, which I was not going to do. And to Sally and Michael and my father-in-law, John, in the back, who are here. And all of my very dear friends, Amber and Sarah and Alan and Larry and Alicia and Jenny and everybody whose name I'm forgetting. And last but very much not least, thank you so much to Meredith, my committee, Meredith, who is the ultimate maternal cheerleader and has a lot of wisdom about how to navigate a memoir, which, like I said, I wouldn't really wish on anybody. And to Andy, who never misses a logistical anything, whether it's a comma or I don't know, a miscalculation or whatever it is, and to Sue, who asks me questions that I hate, until I realized that I needed to have been asking them all along. So, thank you to everybody else who is here. I could go on and on, but this is the first chapter of my memoir. A Walmart Christmas, 1993. It is Christmas vacation, and I'm in the red station wagon with my mom and my brother on the way to Super Walmart to get some last-minute things. Nick wants to show my mom exactly which Sega games he hopes Santa will give him. All of the other 4th grade boys already have Tony Hawk, and in order for Jonathan Burling to come over, Nick needs to have the brand new games. Nick and I make Christmas lists every year. Usually my mom gives us the really thick JCPenney catalog, and we cut out things we want, like long-sleeve t-shirts with stripes across the chest, or puffy beanbag chairs for our bedrooms. But this year Penny stopped sending the catalog, which is why Nick wants Sega games and why I want a leather halter for my pony, so I can fit in with all the girls who have fancy things at the horse camp my dad takes me to every summer. Right now, though, I'm in the back seat listening to talk about Nintendo or whatever, and I'm plotting a strategy. My mom says it's going to be a quick trip before dinner, but I know that's not true for 2 reasons. 1, she always takes forever. And 2, Nick will get lost somehow. I did not bring a purse on purpose. If I had brought the new one I got for my 11th birthday, my mom might know that something was up, so I hid my $12 in my back pocket. I'd had to take 9 of the bills out of my mom's beat-up old brown pocketbook because I could only find $3 in my room, but I was careful to take the ones buried at the bottom so she wouldn't know they were gone. I even took the one that had a piece of Nicorette wrapped in it. What do you think, Em? My mom is looking at me in the rearview mirror. What? Sorry. A last-minute gift for Dad. A bird feeder or one of those new shovels with a curved handle, she asks. This means we're going to Aubuchon too, which is good because I'm not sure what my dad would want at Walmart for the $4 I have for his gift. Nick says a BB gun. My mom winks at me, and we both know that this means Nick just wants one for himself. The bird feeder, I think. I can't wink, so I make an exaggerated smile and pretend to ha-ha back at her. Actually, that would be perfect, because then I can get my dad the birdseed when I sneak away in Walmart to quickly get 4 gifts. 1 for Nick, Mom and Dad, and 1 for me so it's believable that Santa is real. I'm going to put the gifts under the tree after my parents go to bed on Christmas Eve, so that when we open them in the morning, they will look at each other in complete shock, asking each other under their breath, who bought the children that gift from Santa? And then they will realize that it just appeared, and they will start to believe in magic again, and everything that's weird between them will go away. They will be thinking that if there is actually a Santa, there are miracles, and I know that in stories, miracles make problems end between parents. It'll be just like the Christmas specials my mom loves to snuggle up together and watch. Maybe the surprise I'm planning will help whatever reason it is that my parents have been up late at night fighting. Nick doesn't know about that, though. I only know this because I've heard my parents crying after I'm supposed to be asleep, so I creep across the hall and put my ear up to his door and make sure he is breathing the same way he did when he fell asleep. Dad is at home vacuuming because Mom kind of made a mess making the Christmas cookies that we are going to take to our neighbors. I helped, and I'm kind of messy too. I would have offered to stay home with Dad, but I really needed to go to the store. I asked if he was okay at home alone, and he said, absolutely. I might even get some quiet time. At home, our Christmas tree lights up the living room in tiny bursts of color. My favorite ornament, the delicate white swan with Santa on her back, is on my side of the tree. I put it there last night when all 4 of us dug through the wooden chest for treasures to hang on the fir branches. My mom strung tiny chocolate-wrapped stars onto wire hooks so that even inside of the tree would sparkle when we finished. My dad laid out the most fragile ornaments, the glass hummingbird, the 3 cornhusk angels, and the porcelain swan, on the carpet, so they would be ready to go up once the Play-Doh gingerbread men, red balls, and other assorted decorations were evenly distributed. Dad had to make a rule, though. Nick decorated the left side of the tree, and I decorated the right side of the tree, since Nick was ruining the pattern I had started. "Relax, Emily," my mom had said when I told Nick that he obviously didn't know how to do this. "His side looks great to me, and it's hard to mess up a Christmas tree, right, Em?" "But it's all lopsided," I said. "No, it's not," Nick said as he put a heavy Minnie Mouse on the exact same branch as the big gingerbread house that was already weighing it down. "Yes, it is. Look at the giant hole you just made." Everyone looked, even my dad, and I knew I should not have used what my mom called the heh-heh tone. My mother, who was on the blue couch, shot me a "stop it now" look. So I shot back a "well, if he didn't mess everything up" look by shrugging my shoulders hard and rolling my eyes. "Emily, come over here for a second." My dad was wearing a red plaid shirt and Christmas tree suspenders when he stood up from sorting the ornaments on the floor. "Let's just decorate the half of the tree closest to the window. Then you can make your side just the way you want it." "But look at what he's..." I pointed back to Nick's side. "Not this year, Emily," my mom said as she got off the couch to go into the bathroom. Something was funny in her voice, like she might cry. "Can't we just be a family this year?" The last part of her sentence floated through the door, which shut behind her. I turned around quick to see what my dad's face looked like, but he was looking out the window at something entirely outside of the room. "I'll hang the high ones," Dad said, sensing that I had sensed something. We both looked at Nick, who had found the abominable snowman at the bottom of the chest and was digging deeper for Rudolph so he could make them fight. He did this every year. "I guess I can help Nick fix his side," I said, hoping to sound softer. We all heard the pitter-pat of the shower floating through the bathroom door, filling the room with the reminder that I had pushed it again. I can see the big blue and white Walmart sign from my back seat. My mom parks the car between two tall snowbanks made from the plow. She looks at herself in the rearview mirror, puts on her periwinkle fleece hat, and tells us to put on our hats, too. "We're just going to the store," I say. Nobody in the 5th grade wears hats. My dad still makes me wear snow pants, the kind with the buckles on top like his suspenders, to school because he said that I should really try to play and not be one of those girls who goes inside because it's too cold. "Suit yourself," my mom says when I tell her that I didn't even bring a hat. As she opens her door, she breaks into song. "It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas." "Mom, shh," I say, and I am serious. "Oh my God." "Chill, Emily. It's Christmas," she says. Nick takes Nick's hand, and we all cross the parking lot together. Just before vacation, Dane DeBoer asked me if I actually still believed in Santa. He had heard that I wrote a story about it for Language Arts. I didn't answer him because the truth is that I'm not really sure. My parents still think I believe, and I know Nick still actually believes. And my mom says that Santa only comes to those who thinks he's real. I kind of want to ask my dad, but then what if my mom gets mad at him for telling me something he shouldn't? Inside Walmart, my mom pushes a cart through the aisles, which are filled with people debating which so-and-so to get for so-and-so. "Stay close, Nick," my mom says. "He loves to wander to the toys. And let's be quick," she says to me, as though I'm the one who takes a long time to shop. Mom, whose brown curls are totally matted because of her hat, careens into the wildlife aisle when a woman announces "Happy December 23rd, just 2 more shopping days," through the overhead. "Santa must be bustling," my mom says, looking at me and Nick. It is so embarrassing when she talks to me like I'm still a kid, and I swear she winks at me, but I don't want her to because I still kind of want there to be a Santa. I'm afraid that if I think about the fact that I know it's just my parents, then any chance of him being real is completely gone. "Which one?" My mom holds up a cylinder-shaped bird feeder, and one that looks like a miniature house with a plexiglass side. "The regular one or the gnome home?" And Nick and I both tell her to get the gnome home, but I know she will debate about all of the others. Maybe this is when I should make my move and break away. I need to find 4 small gifts, pay for them, then hide them in the back of the Subaru, all before I get in trouble for being gone too long. I have to go to the bathroom, Mom, I say. But you just went at home, sweetie. It's, well, you know, it's not just pee. Uh-oh, okay, we'll come with you. She moves the cart to the side of the aisle to stash it. No, I say, and realize it was too quick. No, I mean, this could take a few minutes, and I think we should just keep shopping. What about my video game? Nick looks up. Okay, my mom looks back at Nick and then at me, but if you are not back in 5 minutes, I'm coming to look for you. Deal, I say and run toward the clearance section. 2 nights ago, my mother and I made Christmas cookies together while Nick played video games in the family room. She wore the Christmas apron that Nick and I made her when we were little. I remember making it when I was 5, maybe. My dad had bought permanent markers, and one morning before my mom woke up, me and Nick sat at the kitchen table drawing snowmen, Santa hats, and snowflakes while my dad made pancakes. No! We all yelled when we heard my mom coming down the stairs, and we laughed and laughed and laughed because it was the funniest thing in the world that we had a morning secret. We're making a present! Don't come in! Nick yelled from his booster seat, and I kicked him hard because now she knew everything. When I saw his tears, though, I told him how good his donkey looked so I wouldn't get in trouble, and he told me it was a reindeer, and then he cried harder. Hey guys, my dad said, coming closer to us, putting his hand on both of our shoulders and whispering, better finish quick. I'll go get Mom's attention, give her a cup of coffee, and give her the new LL Bean catalog. As he walked around the corner and we got back to work, I told Nick I was sorry, that maybe he should just put a red nose on the reindeer so Mom would know what it was. I am in the clearance section now, and I don't have time for all these people in my way. I know Nick has dragged my mom to electronics, but she doesn't usually stay there long. Excuse me, I say to a man with white hair who's blocking the way into the second half of the aisle. Then I see he's very, very old, and I feel bad, but I'm rushing. I scan the shelves with red stickers, beads, pots and pans, a pillow, silk flowers, stuffed animals. Stuffed animals? Nick loves them, even though he's 9 and a boy. I bend down, sift through the small, mostly ugly pound puppies, and then see a tiny little gray mouse with a Santa hat on. Perfect. Nick will think it's adorable because it kind of is, and he thinks girl things are cute. And it's only $2.88. I don't have a basket, so I stick the mouse under my arm and keep looking around. I tell myself that the gifts don't have to be perfect, that they just have to be a secret. I will get myself something very cheap because the whole point of getting myself something is that so no one catches on. There, a block of Fimo, the colored clay my mom and I make beads with. I already have this shade of yellow, but it's only 99 cents and it's the thought that counts. But my mom and I know it's the skin-colored Fimo that would be a real bargain because it's so hard to find and so fun to make a little people. But I will make up a story about how I lost yellow and how did Santa know? I don't see anything for my mom and certainly not for my dad. I can't get the birdseed because my mom might still be in that aisle. I see a fancy white candle with a gold star in the aisle across the way. Excuse me, I say, and ask a man in the blue vest who's walking by, could you reach that candle? Last minute shopping? He asks. Uh-huh. I don't want to talk to him at all. I just need to see the price. He must be my dad's age, but one of his eyes goes in the wrong direction. It's awful pretty, he says, and I just want him to go away. It's $7.99 and I only have $8. I have to find something different, but the candle is so, so pretty and my mom loves stars so much. Maybe I don't need the Fimo. What's wrong? Don't have enough money? The man is still there and he's pretending to sort through votives as I place the candle back on the shelf. It's okay. I grab a pretty blue candle that's only $4 and look for signs of my mother and brother before I go to the candy aisle. I'm gonna get my dad peanut M&Ms, his favorite. Miss? I hear behind me. My mother has sent someone for me. It has been at least 5 minutes. I walk faster. Miss? It's getting louder and then it's beside me. I thought you might want to see this, the man from the candle section says, holding out a small version of the star candle. This one's on sale, only $2.50. It is beautiful. My mom would never think I could afford it. Thank you, I say to the man, grab my dad's candy, check out in the express lane, run to the car which I know my mom never locks, and stash the blue happy face bag inside the hat I pretended not to have. It is Christmas Eve and I am in my bed, clutching my tiny alarm clock under my pillow. It is set for 4 a.m., but I can't sleep. My mom never wraps presents until after Nick and I go to bed on Christmas Eve, so I can hear both she and my dad in their bedroom tearing paper, tying ribbons, and signing cards. My dad occasionally takes an armload of presents downstairs to go under the tree. Mine are on the right, Nick's on the left. It must be 2 a.m. Earlier tonight, we went to the candlelight service in the little stone church in Meriden, where we always go. My mom cried, and my dad put his arm around her, kissed her forehead, and teared up too when we all sang Silent Night. That's when I knew my trip to Walmart had been the perfect plan. My parents never cried in church. They definitely needed something to make whatever was wrong better. I'm not good at staying awake, so I'm guessing what's happening. I can hear my dad downstairs. I bet he's cleaning up the plates of shrimp, cheese cubes, and little kielbases we all ate by the fire when we got home from church and read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, all snuggled under a red blanket on my parents' bed. We do this every year. From my bed, I can hear my mom rapping. My dad will pick up the pieces, and I imagine them almost like a conveyor belt of productivity. They know how to work together. Last one, I hear my dad say. Thank God, what time is it, 6? My mom says, and they both laugh. She climbs into bed. I can tell she hasn't brushed her teeth. And I can hear my dad stacking leftover boxes in the corner of the room. I wait in my flannel sheets, staring out the window into our white driveway. The stars are out, and I watch for a red flashing light in the sky. If I see Rudolph, I decide, I guess I'll wake Nick up so he can see too. I check my little clock. It's 3:32. I know I have to wait until my parents are really, really, really asleep before sneaking downstairs because the stairs creak so loud if you hit them the wrong way. My alarm goes off. I must have fallen asleep. I listen to see if it woke anyone else up and quietly, so carefully climb out of bed, reach under my bed for the Walmart bag, and shimmy down the stairs like a spy hugging the wall so my feet fall in the sturdiest part of the stairwell. This is a sin, what I am doing. I have never, ever been allowed to go downstairs on Christmas without my brother because it wouldn't be fair, my parents say. I know this, and I try not to look, but oh my God, there are so many presents. Angus, our collie, stirs in the other room. I will kill him. If he barks and ruins all of this now. I stop. Nothing. He's asleep. I put the gifts from my plastic bag out and position them where they can be seen first. I didn't wrap them for 2 reasons. First, I couldn't hide the wrapping paper in my mom's car, and if I use the type at home, she'll recognize it. Second, my parents wrap everything, so they would be surprised by the fact something wasn't wrapped. Before creeping down upstairs, I rearranged Nick's mouth so you can see it better and fluffed the cellophane on top of my mom's beautiful candle. Look! It is Christmas morning, and I let Nick go downstairs first. My mom looks at me in a quizzical way because I never do this. Last year I pushed him and he fell. A sled with runners, Emmy! Nick says, running toward his pile. But I am not watching him. I am watching my parents to see their reaction when they realize that Santa, the real one, has been here in the small amount of time between when they fell asleep and when we woke them up. Wow, I say, still watching my mom and dad. They are smiling, and my dad winks at my mom. What did you get? My mom says in a high-pitched voice. She is wearing her fuzzy green bathrobe. Her hair is wild, and her glasses are a little off-center. I see a sled, my dad says, smiling and holding up the red plastic. And look, Santa even knew it had to have runners because otherwise you can't get down any hill in New Hampshire. I bet he looked everywhere for that. I want them to see the candle and the mouse and the M&Ms and the Fimo even. We are all standing around the presents and no one sees what the real Santa brought. And I know my dad is mocking the sled because he had to drive to Brattleboro to get it, and my mom is trying to slow Nick down. But maybe she should just slow down and look around a little. Wow, I say and run toward my pile. Look what Santa knew. I lost my only yellow Fimo last week, and I really needed it to finish a bead. I can't believe this. I look up at everyone. And look at the stockings, Nick says, already digging for chocolate. He is ruining everything. Nick, oh my God, Nick. Look at that tiny little baby mouse. It's on your present. I am like a ping pong ball of energy jostling between my staged gifts. Nick, whose face looks like there's a bulb in it, turns around, grabs the mouse, and sets it beside him, reaching for a silver present below it. Hold on, sweetie, my mom says to Nick. Let's just take it all in before we rip everything open. Now we are getting somewhere. Mom, look at your pile, I say. It's huge, maybe even bigger than Nick's and mine. I take her hand as I pull her toward her pile, and she says, I wouldn't go that far. I'd say you have quite a little stockpile there. I know she is feeling defensive about what I said, but for once I actually didn't mean it that way. So I ignore it and pull her closer to where I've placed her candle. I bet I know what this is, she says, stopping to touch the big red box that we all know is the Charmin toilet paper that my dad gets her every year to bulk up the gifts. And what about this gorgeous candle, I say. I look right at my father, waiting for him to say, wait a second, where did that come from? But he asks people what they want from the kitchen instead. We could eat those M&Ms, I say, pointing to the yellow package. How about something healthy first? Toast, even. And then you can have all the candy you want. I sit down, heavy in the pajamas my mom gave me last night as a Christmas Eve gift. What's wrong, Em? My mom says in the one time I actually want to be invisible. You don't feel well, do you? No. Let me grab you some Tums. You can't feel sick because it's Christmas. She is singing the song again and she feels my forehead. I think it's just a bug. It'll be gone in an hour. Nick, his hair cowlicked in all directions and chocolate all over his face, holds out a Reese's cup for me to eat. When my mom goes into the bathroom worried about how I feel, I look right at Nick and tell him that his mouse is the girliest thing I have ever seen in my life. And if any boy, especially Jonathan Burling, sees him with it, not only will they call him chubby, but they will even call him gay. And if he even thinks about crying, I will tell the whole school about what Santa brought him.